Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here to do a quick review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm late with my review because I was in Mexico on vacation. I didn't get back until Monday night. And then, of course, all day Tuesday, I just slept. So I'm up Wednesday morning, revived. I just finished watching the episode. I also have to do Married to Medicine. But I haven't seen the episode yet. I wanted to come really fresh off of Real Housewives of Atlanta and give you guys a really involved, enthralled, banging review since I'm late, and just to make sure I be thorough with this. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It kind of embodied the reason why we like Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just want to say that if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, hitting that subscription button, becoming a member of the tribe. We'd love to have you. Notification bell, of course, you want to be aware of anytime I do uploads. Don't forget that thumbs up button. You guys know I love it when you give me a thumbs up. It's like saying, hey, Miss Honey. And, of course, comment down below. We're going to talk about some different stuff in this episode, and I definitely want to get you guys' feedback. Oh, yeah, shout out to press-ons, you guys. I've been gone since last Thursday at the beach with these press-ons, and they all started out with this really beautiful iridescent, and they're all on except they've lost their iridescence. But still, shout out to press-ons. Like, it's not true what they say. The new press-ons are the bomb, right? Anyway, we'll talk about that in my Mexico video. So let's go on and talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 12, episode 6, where there's a wig, there's a way. And listen, the episode opened beautifully, and that was with Tanya and Portia meeting at this place where they were getting like these well, Tanya was treating Portia to this abdominal treatment where it feels like you did like 100 sit-ups, and I guess it's like I don't know. Anyway, it stimulates the abdomen. You know, Portia coming off having a baby, this is something she was interested in. She was still real cautious about it, though. I was like, okay, you're right to be cautious, Portia, because you got a baby now. You can't be out here doing all these crazy stunts with your body and stuff, because you got to be here for your baby, right? And it's girls out there losing their life over some of these tricks, trying to keep up with these Instagram models, right? Shout out to 310. I love this shake. Anyway, so of course they talk about Marlo's having a wig launch. She's has her own wig line. I think it's called Her. That's like She by Sheree, but okay. And you know, Portia lets Tanya know that all the girls were invited. Everybody was excited except Kenya. Kenya's not going. Of course, we know Eva's not going to go. And Tanya just feels like, you know, everyone needs to get away and go somewhere and have fun and try to reconnect. And she has this idea that they will go to Carnival. But how she breaks the news to Portia is what I really thought was so fun. And what is just, it's the reason I really like Tanya. Tanya's just really upbeat. She's very positive. She's well-rounded. Like, she's all about the fun and have a good time. Like, that is her superpower. And although she can be shady, you know what I'm saying, she can read you back. Like, if you put Tanya in that place, she will be that person. I think she's kind-hearted first, and then she'll come out with the claws if she has to. But she goes out and comes back, and she has put on this, you know, carnival headpiece and this little tube, you know, little two-piece top, bikini top, but it's carnival decorated. And then she's got this thing on her hips, and she's got these things in her hand, and she just comes in with the vivaciousness and just really just good energy. And it just puts it ignites the thing we love about Portia is that she is, so kooky and fun and goofy, and she get down to it. We used to really love these moments between Portia and Phaedra. They would just always be doing, just it's being funny and silly, and her and Tanya get to it. Like it was just a good, fun, loving moment. I really enjoyed it. The next scene was Kandi, Todd, and Kayla. And I love that Connect 4 game they had. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to upgrade my board games and get some really nice, high quality traditional board games. I think that would be so fun at Christmas to have different game rooms set up, or get different places throughout the home where people can play a game and sit outside, or play a game and at the, in the living room or in different rooms and have conversations. And I think that would be really nice. So I like that. We see where Kayla, Todd's daughter, comes in, Candy's stepdaughter, and she is dry. They all dry. She dry, Riley dry, Noelle dry. They're in a really cautious place in their lives where they want to be like, they don't care, whatever, no biggie, I'm not sweating it, like, I'm not thirsty, I'm not motivated, I'm not moved, I'm not You have to hear them say, yes, I'm excited. You won't be able to tell by body language, because the body language is so dry. Like the tone in their voice is so dry, so matter of fact. I find it quite infuriating. But, they kind of like a dry family. I mentioned this before. Like dryness runs in Candy's family. And now she's dry by marriage. But anyway, she seems like a really nice girl. She's got a beautiful smile. Like, you hardly ever see it, though. And she and Todd traveled a little bit. They went to London and a couple other places. London was her favorite. Just trying to see how they do fashion all over the world and different fashion houses and things like that. Just, she wants to be in fashion in some sort of way. I don't know if she wants to be a designer, or maybe she's just not sure what it is she wants to be. She may be a great buyer, too. That's a wonderful way to travel and be involved in fashion. She may want to be a fashion editor. It's kind of cutthroat out there, but I don't know. She's not being very specific about what it is she wants to be or do in fashion, but she just knows that she wants to have some part of fashion, and she wants to live in New York. Well, evidently Todd, in an effort to raise her or to rear her and guide her in a way that is most successful, he has neglected to give her the type of affection and attention that a girl needs from her dad. And it's so funny because it's not like all the things, the hopes and dreams he has for her that he is trying to equip her with and trying to instill in her are bad or wrong. They're fine. They're great, except you have to also incorporate love. A young woman needs to know what real love is from a male. And the first man she'll ever love will be her dad. And she just talks about how when he said he was proud of her for going on the trip and, having all of these experiences and embracing it, she was like, oh, wow, you're proud. And then she lets him know, Mom calls me 3 or 4 times a day. I barely hear from you. If you could just at least text me. Now, she's saying this in her own dry, matter-of-fact way, but this is what the girl is saying nonetheless. And he was like, what, you really feel like that? And she was like, yeah, you just have a way of talking to me, and I just don't like it. And that's our connection, is you cracking the whip on me, as opposed to you telling me that you love me and you proud of me and just being more affectionate as a father. And he was like, man, I'm sorry, which I can appreciate him apologizing. And Kandi was kind of facilitating, and Kandi was like, really, you feel that way? And she was like, I mean, I go through Kandi because talking to you directly, it gets my feelings hurt, basically. And she was like, Kandi, you know, because we went like a whole month without talking. And Kandi was talking about it was hard for her, too. I could see how she is caught between a rock and a hard place. Now, let me say this. I love this scene. I love this scene because it needs to be said and it's important. Not just to be said, but to be received, and for Todd to apologize, for Kandi to express herself, because so many people go through this where they're in relationships, whether it's parental to child or sibling relationships, or husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, friend on friend, whatever, where people don't feel loved or they don't feel connected. They don't feel like love is being reciprocated or given as freely to them. And a lot of people, take a hard turn in the negative direction because of it. A lot of people out here stunting and popping and dropping and exposing themselves in a non-positive way in a attempt to get attention. So the conversation is very, very important. I love the fact that he apologized. I love the fact that he and Kandi talked about it after Kayla left, and he said he loved her, she loved him back, but whatever. And it was just a good moment. I enjoyed it. We see Eva go to see her and her family load up and go see their oldest daughter, Marley, take tennis practice. Noel and Cynthia making guac. And Cynthia tried to taste that guac off the spoon and put it back. And Noel was like, you best not. No, ma'am, give me that bowl. No, you do not do that. You do not do that. I was like, who's the mom? Then we see NeNe go to lunch with Kandi. First of all, Kandi was the easiest one to go to lunch with. NeNe is just trying to make it seem like she's all, life coached out and holistic now, and she just wants to reconnect. It is a good look on NeNe. I love NeNe's attitude when she goes to lunch with Kandi to chit-chat. It's refreshing. It's not attitudinal, but it still comes across as extra, extra fake, because she's not dragging Portia, but she's being very messy about Portia. Why would you do that? That's the reason you didn't call Portia. You didn't call Portia because in the off season, you and Portia have had words where you have said some ugly, nasty, hateful things over text, and she had to expose you for it. Okay, so you come in and act like you trying to get some gossip from Kandi about Portia, and you want to throw a little shade about, does Portia need a rabies shot? And it would have been funny, fun-loving, kind of joning type situation if you had not had this horrible falling out with Portia just after she had her baby, where you call her fat and ankles and all of this stuff. Like, it's coming across fake. Why would you even bring Portia up? And then you get excited about the fact that Kandi's having a baby through a surrogate, and and it's going to be great, it's going to be fine. Anyway, you moved on from that. She talked a little bit about Greg and, his situation. It's not pulling on her. It's not asking anything of her. So yeah, she can talk about it with positivity now. And of course, she gets to the part where she talks about Cynthia and how Cynthia has said some horrible things, and she acted all good when she saw her on the float, but she's still been doing interviews. And Kandi was like, well, you did a couple of interviews too. And she was just like, well, no, I'm just letting you guys know that Cynthia tries to play like she's one way, but she's a completely different way. As a matter of fact, we have a mutual friend that she talked about me with, and it just so happens that the person recorded her dogging me out. And so Kandi was like, what? Of course. And, NeNe just tries to act like she's just above it all. Of course, she knows who she's telling this to, although any one of the ladies would have gone and taken it back, because it is salacious. So we see where Cynthia, Kenya, and Kandi meet at Highland Hardware, which is so random. Apparently, Cynthia is going to expand her closet so that she can accommodate her boyfriend, Mike Hill, when he moves in, soon to be fiance. I was just like, okay, Cynthia. Of course, Kandi comes in and she tells them about she had lunch with NeNe, and it was about the recording. And Cynthia just acts like, so what? I don't care. Whatever, I stand on every inch I shade. Whatever I said, I meant it. If somebody recorded it, they just recorded. Oh, well, that's what it is. But basically, she calls NeNe out on the BS for the most part. Like, that's pretty sneaky and underhanded and low down. Like, why are you going to this level? And she was like, as long as I was kissing her butt and being her friend, I was Michelle Obama. But now that I disagree with you, you want to kick me to the curb. I hear what Cynthia's saying, but Cynthia did a couple of things in this episode that make me feel like, Cynthia, what gives? What really, really gives? What really, really gives? You know what I mean? So, like I said, Cynthia act like she don't care. She said NeNe can take that recording and stick it in her butt. You know, Kenya, of course, had shade for NeNe. That's how that goes. Then they all speculate on who could have recorded her. Who could have recorded Cynthia. So, Cynthia then called Eva and talked to Eva on the phone. And she talking to Eva on the phone about the wig party. Of course, Eva's not going. And she said that Marlo reached out to her personally. She didn't put her on the invite feed, but she called to talk to her personally. And I think it's because she didn't want her to insult her or lash out at her on the feed, so all the girls can see it and have it and, screenshot it. She talked to her privately, which I guess was what Eva may have done. It was a possibility Eva could have done that on the feed because she didn't even respond. Now, here's the opportunity for you to tell a person exactly how you feel, whether it's text or not. She's already got the spirit, the energy of what it is how you feeling about her. So you could have responded on text, but you say nothing at all, Eva. Nothing at all. Okay, so yeah, that's why she sent it to you privately, in my opinion. But then they started talking about who could have did the recording. Who did that? Was it Yovanna want to be relevant? Y'all know Yovanna want to be relevant. Yovanna want to be famous. Yovanna want to be popular. She is Team NeNe. Okay, right there with Marlo. Or could it have been Marlo? And Cynthia was like, I'm not ruling it out, but I'm just trying to see what's really going on. So I'm like, well, Cynthia, you had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people. If you're not sure who it is, I would know exactly who it is. If I drug somebody like that, I would know exactly who recorded me, because I wouldn't be out there dragging to everybody, any and everybody. But okay. So, she expresses this doubt for Marlo. Now, she could have just called Marlo, but okay. She could have went to see Marlo, but okay. Remember her in New York, Marlo made this pledge that they wasn't going to dog each other, right? Okay, so then we see where Blonde, Portia, Tanya, and Shamia are on their way to the wig party that Marlo is having. And Portia just lets them know she just don't feel it for NeNe. She don't see it for NeNe because of how vicious and ugly and evil NeNe was after the reunion in the off season, right after she had her baby. Those horrible things she said via text. And of course, the way she acted at the reunion was horrible. Even Kandi mentioned that before going to lunch with her. She was just like, me of all people. Well, you are the easier one. Although Kandi will ask questions, Candy's not going to be confrontational. Portia might have been more confrontational if she had invited her to lunch. Certainly, she wasn't going to invite Cynthia because that is going to be a crescendo episode. We already know that. That's going to be a big reveal, okay? So, yeah. so Portia was like, if I see her, I'm not speaking to her, I'm not talking to her, I'm not about to be fake. And so Shamia was like, dang, blonde Portia don't take no junk. It was so funny. I just really like Tanya and Portia and Shamia, especially all together. I think those girls are authentic and fun loving. I'm here for it. The wig event. Okay, the wig event was not posh. It was kind of sparse in the decorations and the setup. You know, I mean, it was budgeted. You can see that it was kind of budgeted. Still, I mean, it was nice. It was nice enough. The wig wall was cool. I love a good hedge wall. I just love it. And so let's see. Cynthia and Kandi sit down and they're chit-chatting and talking with Yvonne Be Relevant. And Yvonne, you know, Kandi just said, were you the one that recorded Cynthia? And Cynthia was sitting there like, and of course she responded with a question. You know, instead of recording, you know, record. What are you talking about? What are you saying? She was like, why would I record? I don't know. The jury's still out on Yvonne Be Relevant, but she basically says no. That's fine. Then we see where Marlo makes an entrance, and she's got both of her nephews who are just slightly too short for her to be holding on to them around their shoulders. Like, you know, like they're two big, strong men walking her in. They're these little boys. I don't know why she wasn't holding their hand, or I don't know what was the point, you know, why they weren't just I don't know. It was an awkward, forced moment. It just further adds to my skepticism about how genuine this whole Monty thing is with Marlo. Like, I'm not really sure that's authentic. I'm still not sure if that is authentic, if this is truly what's going on, or she's just trying to sort of enhance her storyline and her appearance on the show by including these young men, you know, because all the other ladies are basically giving birth or have children and have this other dimension to their lives that she does not have, you know. So it's just a weird moment. If you guys saw it, tell me what you think. It was just odd the way she came out with them, and I don't know. She didn't really have a speech prepared. I don't think that anyone necessarily helped her per se. Anyway, NeNe makes an appearance. You know, everybody else has gotten there, and then she comes up. I wouldn't be surprised if she was sitting around the corner waiting for everybody's car to go by, or waiting for the producer to say, you can come now. Like, she makes an entrance. Of course, everybody spins around and looks at her like she is the real life breathing dragon walking in the door. And I mean, kinda, she was. But you know, everybody just kind of stopped and they're speechless when she walks in. And I'm just like, why y'all give her so much? Even Marlo was like, NeNe, that's my girl, NeNe. I said, my girl, NeNe, I couldn't go on without my girl, NeNe. NeNe, you the number one. Give me an N, give me an E, give me an N, give me an E, give me NeNe. Give me NeNe. I love NeNe. Who loves NeNe? Say NeNe. Say it with me, NeNe. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was hyping NeNe up so hard. I was like, why y'all give her so much? Why y'all give her so much? Like, the ladies don't make her chase at all. They don't make her get involved at all. If y'all would have just let that girl be, okay? Let her have her own fantasticness in her own fantastic world. You know what I'm saying? Let her be the queen over a kingdom of one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would not give her the energy. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in my Mexico video, so I'm not going to hold you all with that conversation. But Y'all doing too much when it come to NeNe. Y'all giving NeNe too much shine. When NeNe came in and she spoke to everybody, Portia turned her back and walked off because she was like, oh, no, I'm not finna be fake. Now, Cynthia did something I thought was smart. And, you know, we have to remember that Cynthia was a part of the modeling world for many, many years. So she's used to dealing with girls and girls' attitudes and, you know, just having to navigate that world without always being aggressive and confrontational. So NeNe leans in and gives her a kiss. She turns the cheek and takes the kiss. She said, I'm gonna see how far she gonna go. I'm gonna play whatever game she playing. She wanna play nice nasty, even though she knows she got this recording or she's had somebody record me. That's fine. And I'm not going to tip my hand where I am. And if she's not going to tip her hand, I'm just going to play along until she does. And I thought it was smart. It certainly didn't add to any of the dramatics. But at the same time, it was a dramatic move. It was a very strategic move. So shout out to Cynthia for that. Of course, they're going to play this game. Marlo wants to play this game, take a wig off the wall and put it on one of the models that's sitting there. They've already got their face beat up, but then they want them to do like a flat curl. Portia won that. It was kind of weird that she picked Portia and NeNe, but they didn't talk at all. They didn't converse at all. None of that. At the same time that they're finishing up and Portia is being announced as the winner. Here we have a band of like 2 or 3 regular, I don't know, it was like high school students or something. I don't know what it was. And they had like handmade signs about weed control. They had a couple of professional signs too. And it's Kenya. She's bringing wig control, edge control, her edge control cream, which is obviously doing really, really well in Sally Beauty. She started out in a couple of stores and ended up with all 2,600 stores because it sold well in Sally Beauty. But now she's bringing it to Shane Marlo, because remember, that was an esteem issue of Marlo's last week at the Bailey Q, was that she had thin edges and big feet. And she shows up. It was so season 3, 4, like a lot of the ladies laughed. A lot of the ladies thought it was funny. But at the same time, they thought it was wrong. They thought it was shady, but at the same time, they thought it was evil. And to me, it just kind of fell flat. It just fell flat because it made Kenya look sad. I mean, she had been invited nicely. It was no reason for her to come with this shots fired type stance. Like, everybody got a little bit of shade at the Bailey Q. And equally, just about everybody gave a little bit of shade at the Bailey Q. Like, why such a big, over-the-top gesture? Excuse me, you guys, for Marlo's wig reveal. Like, why? I didn't understand it. Like, what exactly did Marlo do for you to try to stunt on her this hard? And that's why I'm just like, Kenya, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a mom, and you still petty? You still petty, like petty? Wow. And now they had a lot of regular people there, people who are not celebrity life, people who are not in the celebrity limelight. And of course, she's giving away free edge control. People are there for the clicks. They're there for the photos, the photo ops, and they're there for swag. Of course, they all took it. But at the same time, it left you looking like this big, awkward, inappropriate, obnoxious idiot in the room. And even though it was against Marlo, and I feel a type of way about Marlo, like, all the other ladies were standing around talking to her, and Marlo was trying to get them to come back and play the game and come back over. And Marlo had this microphone this whole time. She had a microphone and she was talking to the microphone. At first she tried to act like she was cool with it, like, thank you so much, because you know I have thin edges, and let's get up Kenya more. And Cynthia was like, okay, Marlo's being a good sport. Marlo's being a good sport. Sometimes I'd be like, what world is Cynthia in? What planet do Cynthia live in where she is completely oblivious? Like, are you this much of a kumbaya, copacetic, naive, head in the sand, brain in the clouds type individual? I mean, it's something going on. It's something happening right now that I'm confused about. I'm confused as to why Kenya is always talking to any and everybody, Portia included, considering where her and Portia came from. But Cynthia, your whole best friend, and you not talking to her about what's going on with you and your husband. And then Cynthia, I'm not really sure what it is you got going on with this whole Marlo situation, because when Marlo at the end, right before Kenya left, it was just so horribly awkward, where Marlo basically begged the girls to stop talking to Kenya and to come over and sit down with her, and she's calling security over the microphone. Like, Marlo did not take that microphone from away from her mouth, even when she was joning out Kenya. Now, mind you, she's shading Kenya, and Kenya don't have a microphone, so you just hear Marlo's one-liners over the loudspeaker, right? But it's falling flat because you don't have the give and the take of it all. But basically, she begs the girls to come and sit down next to her and talk to her and still participate in her event, and stop talking to Kenya. And security, where is my security? Escort her out, please. She was never escorted out. You don't have that kind of authority on the show, my dear. You would have had to physically throw her out, which would have added to the ratings, because you're not even a peach holder. Like, no, she's allowed to come in and out of your scenes as she sees fit. You are just fodder, Marlo. When Marlo talks about how evil it was of Kenya to behave that way, then Cynthia says, I don't know, it was good to see her. I'm glad she came, and at least she came. I was just like, Cynthia, come on now, Cynthia. Everybody. Portia was like, Cynthia, are you serious? Like, no, the way she came wasn't cool. It wasn't okay. She shouldn't have come at all if she was going to do that. And Cynthia is just like, I don't know. I'm just saying it was good to see her, because I just feel like, I was like, Cynthia, you are neither hot nor cold. Honey, you're barely lukewarm, my dear. You're barely lukewarm. Like, where do you stand? Okay, who's on the Lord's side? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is we doing? What are you doing, Cynthia? It was the weirdest moment. Finally, we see where NeNe decides she's going to leave. She just doesn't want to have any part of this, and she's going to leave out. You see, she took them swag bags with her when she left, though, right? She goes and gets in her car. Yvonne Be Relevant runs out after her, and she's knocking on the window. And NeNe let that window say, you knock on my window again and I'll kick your... Ooh. Yvonne was like, well, why would you leave and just stay and don't do that and just leave? You got to support. Marlo is fine. Marlo is a big girl. Don't worry about that. Why are you chasing after me? Leave me alone. And she was so disrespectful to Yvonne, wanna be popular. I was like, girl, y'all friends? Y'all friends? If y'all friends, then you don't need no enemies, because you got both. You got a true frenemy. Now, this girl right here is supposed to be, I don't need that. I don't want to be around that energy. This is not my life. This is not who I am. What are you talking about? Like, it's not even to that level. This is not me. This is not who I am. But don't you want to be here for Marlo? Marlo's a big girl. She can take care of herself. Well, Yvonne wanna be relevant, goes back inside and sits down and tells them NeNe left. And so Marlo's like, NeNe left me? She was like, yeah, she left, and she was so rude and so nasty to me. I was like, oh, okay. A little bit of a feeding frenzy there. Anybody there could have gotten eaten, apparently, right? So Marlo just seems really defeated. She seemed really defeated and disappointed that she was treated that way, and that really nobody kind of spoke up or stood up for her. Now, at the same time, it's kind of iffy with everybody's relationship with Marlo because Marlo's been shady on a lot of different levels. But Kenya was definitely out of line. It was wrong. It was inappropriate. And I personally felt uncomfortable just watching it all go down. Like, it almost needed a windmilling. The moment almost needed a fight to like wrap it up real quick and cause like a little melee and break it up, and we try to figure it out. Like, that would have made it a little less awkward than how it was with her running and trying to beg them to stop talking, and Kenya acting like, girl, get out of here. You're nothing. You're zero. You're less than. It was a tough moment. It was a tough moment. And Kenya left, and she left in this awkward, like, she looked so bad, and she kept trying to just have these moments on the phone and little conversations with people, with Kandi, where she just seemed unbothered, and she seemed like she was the head of the Ruthless gang, but she was still trying to sell this misstep as something positive, as something good, and it just made her look so bad, so desperate. Marlo was hollering out stuff about her relationship with her husband, and I was like, who is telling Marlo all of this stuff about Kenya? Who is telling Marlo all of this stuff about Kenya? And could it be Cynthia? Although we have not seen Kenya talk to Cynthia about her relationship with Mark. Where is Marlo getting all of this tea from? This spot on ass tea. Where? Anyway, that's the end of the episode, you guys. It was a huge WTF moment, that wig party. But you guys tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees.